Welcome back. Confessions of a Wedding Band, brought to you by all of us here at the Martini Shot. This is a podcast where we document our on and off stage band stories and discuss our originals. We have 20 years of fun stories that we'd like to remember. Years ago, we came up with the idea of writing a book, and well, the problem with that is we don't know how to write a book. So the Confessions of a Wedding Band was born. Well, we're full strength here with everybody here today. I'm going to shoot it around for some introductions. I'm Brian. I'm the host of the show, and I play trumpet in the band.
I'm Steven. I play sax and now play guitar in the band.
I'm Andy, singer and guitar.
I'm Brooke. I play bass and sing.
Ryan, guitar.
Rob, saxophone and keys.
I'm Greg, and I play the drums.
All right, we're going to dive into this story here. I'm going to pass this over to Andy. This is what we call the Sanshoe episode.
Sanshoe refers to a sandal. And so we will get to when Ryan starts talking about his Sanshoe. But before that, we were playing, what's it called? Music at the
Music at the Junction?
No, that's Lahana.
We don't know where we are.
Summerfest on the Rio.
Summerfest on the Rio.
There you go.
I mean, we played
way
it
too
for
nice of a
many
name for
years. I mean, over and over again, back even when the band was in Alamosa, and we were kind of more based there. So we had played this event many times, and it's a fun event. We had a good time. A lot of fun things have happened on that stage, like me saying inappropriate things because some guy came and wanted me to say something in Spanish. And then I ended up doing it, and Brooke was like, no.
Which we said, sopla mi verga.
I didn't know what it meant. But anyway, so we played a great show. It was fun. And then afterwards, we kind of go out on the town of Alamosa. It was a festival, of course, so all the festival food was there, and we started having our beers and everything, and we ate a turkey leg. I think most everybody grabbed a turkey leg, right? I think everybody was excited, grabbed a turkey leg, and we started eating our turkey legs, and the night went on. We were staying at the Lamplighter Hotel on Main Street in Alamosa, Colorado.
Yeah, which there is no such thing as a 2-star hotel in Alamosa, right? And this is the worst hotel in Alamosa. So yeah, very much so a musician motel.
It was definitely a musician hotel.
It still was a
that's
Motel.
Yeah, it was a motel.
Not a band house.
So we were hanging out outside, right, out on the balcony,
Those suck.
and
Band house was horrible.
And there was another group of musicians that were coming through from Nashville, and we'd been partying. We had fun all day long, right? And then we got back to the motel, and this guy says, "Hey, do you want to smoke a joint, of this good weed we had?" And so he just kind of lit it up on the balcony. Or were we on the balcony? We were on the first floor. Yeah, we were on the first floor. So anyway, he lit this thing up, and Ryan, in his form that he was in, obviously, he's like, "Oh, give me some of that," And I said, "Careful, dude, don't partake in that too much, because that's
I'm
good
not a
stuff."
huge weed smoker.
No, not at all.
No.
So yeah, Ryan took a big old hit of that, man. That's all I remember. He probably took a couple hits of that, and that's all it took for him to just kind of go completely overboard.
Definitely felt it.
He was already inebriated, which we were safe. We were at the motel, right? We weren't doing anything other than just partying, but that's just pretty funny that I remember he just kind of turned from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde. You know what I mean? It was immediately there was this total change in his behavior, which I thought was hilarious. And then he started talking, and
didn't his sandal fall off?
Yeah, he had sandals on. Yeah,
Flip flops.
he had flip flops on. Well, he couldn't say his sandals. He said, my Sanshoe, my Sanshoe. And he's like, I lost my Sanshoe. And we just thought that was the best thing ever. And we let him go. And like he ended up trying to go up the steps and he stumbled like up to get to the room up above. And you know how those are, those concrete levels of every motel, right? And he's a good like probably 8 to 10 feet off the ground, you know, and he starts ping-ponging back and forth, like from the railing to the door to the windows, you know what I mean? Like back and forth through that hall. And luckily, Rob
saved him.
Yeah, Robbie ran up there and grabbed him before he fell off the... And he would have hit a car below or not. Like either way, like he would have been really messed up. That was not a good thing. Yeah.
Thank you, Rob. I
think
appreciate you.
Yeah, I think I came late to the whole thing. I don't know. It's a lot of that I don't remember. Just other than when he was heading back to the room and is like, "This is not good at all."
Yeah, that's cool. You have that spidey sense, right? Like,
I mean,
like nobody else. We were partying. We didn't care. Like, Ryan take care of himself. You know what I mean? But like, he ended up not being able to take care of himself at that situation, which is so funny.
It was not good. I don't know. Yeah, it seems like I came late to that. It seems like I just showed up right when. Like, what is going on and why is he walking back like that? And like, you know, it was scary to me. And he was making no sense, talking a bunch of gibberish.
Yeah,
stuff.
Sanshoe.
I remember just like holding him and bringing him back, like my arm around him, just like to get him back to his room because he was on that like a balcony.
Yeah,
and it was scary. I mean, it was scary. Like,
so,
it's like.
So he passes out in his bed, right? We got him safe, and he goes to sleep. The rest of us stay up, and then for some reason, can't figure out what beds we're sleeping in. And somehow...
we all stayed up partying. I mean...
Yeah, so explain that. Explain that, Greg. I want to know that part of the story myself.
Oh, shit, all I remember is just waking up and my foot... I was in Pizzle's bed. And my foot was like, I was like wet. So I was like, what the hell is that? You know, like I couldn't figure out what it was, man. And then later on, you know, discovered that it was Pizzle's puke.
I just remember, like, I don't remember any of that. Nothing. Total black.
And I don't remember how you even got there, though. We all continued partying that night.
So the bathroom,
after he had passed out.
Yeah, the bathroom looked like a murder scene.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, all the towels.
So he had red, like puke all over the place, like in these little cat food lumps. And we were not in the room. So like when we woke up in the morning, I freshly showered and put on a brand new Avalanche jersey and like came in to see those two guys, and we found Greg and Pizzle snug as a bug. In the same bed.
I woke up and I saw Greg.
Perfect.
I was like, what the fuck is going on? And he just like opens his eyes, kind of looks at me, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he kind of turned over, and then I just see a little pile of like cat food under his back. And I was like, what is that? And then I realized that was my puke. And that was the turkey leg. But then the rest of the entire bed was wet. I went into the bathroom. All the towels have puke all over them. It was... I don't know how that happened.
So don't do drugs, kids. So back to our encounter with it, right? So it's a brand new day. It's beautiful. I'm feeling great. I'm ready for some breakfast. Like I'm in fresh jersey, and there those two are laying there. I don't see.
Well, and you came to me, right? Like you came back into our room, and you're like, dude, you gotta come see this. They're sleeping in the same bed. What the heck's going on?
I got a fresh jersey on. I come in, and I'm like, oh, this is the prime time to lay down a WWE move on these guys and jump on their bed and body slam both of them like, cause give them a wake up, right? You know, cause I knew they were hurting. They had to have been, right? They're in the same bed. So I go flying airborne and I go whoosh and land like right in the middle of the bed on both of them. And we're laughing and everything. And then I like touched around the bed and looked at my jersey and I'm like, why is my jersey red? Like it's white. And as I look around, I'm like, oh my God, what is this? I'm in puke. I'm in pizzle puke. And I freshly showered and put my jersey on bed. I was like, oh God, you guys, this is so gross. Like, yeah, being a musician sometimes is like, I mean, I get it. Like, we're not Motley Crue and we're not, you know, Def Leppard and, you know, whatever. But like, sometimes it's easy to just go a little far south on your partying and then end up sleeping in the same bed, I guess, full of puke. Like,
Well, I think one
that's
of
the
the
way it
funniest
works.
parts about it is that turkey leg ended up looking like formed cat food to where you would just kind of roll off of it, roll onto it. And what I remember from it, because I walked in when you were body slamming them.
Yeah.
And I was all ready too, like we were gonna go have breakfast or what at the campus
Yeah, obviously
cafe or
we
something.
weren't.
And we did not do that at that point. But yeah, walking in and just noticing that Greg had rolled off of the cat food and then rolled back on the cat food.
And then it's full.
Wow.
It was pretty funny.
Aren't you guys glad I saved his life?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. I apologize to the cleaning staff. Super glad we didn't have any of our credit cards on file.
Yeah.
You don't remember any of that, Sis?
No, the last thing I remember is just hanging out with Brooke and that other band and then
I remember
waking
Yeah,
up.
those guys from Nashville laid waste to, like, was that?
like we were
That'd be right
in their
around
room.
legalization, or because those
It was
guys were on
before
the
that.
road.
It
Was
was
it
way
before
before
that?
that.
That was before, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. There you go.
It was quite a while ago.
Well, it didn't matter. It was theirs. But like, yeah, they were on the road and they must have gotten something like good. So, but
I
you
thought
know,
we had it.
no, I don't think so. That's why I think it was pretty funny. Maybe not so much. I'm not trying to turn this into an Alcoholics Anonymous thing or something.
I'm like, I'm glad Ryan came down from Springs to get.
But no, just thinking, you know, about that. Like, it's kind of an occupational hazard, right? All the times that we've been around that kind of element, you know, as a musician, you know, it's kind of interesting.
Well, and really,
To
I
have
mean, I would say,
longevity.
like, even just in that instance, I mean, it was quite a while ago. I mean, you're looking
Oh
at
yeah, we were young and
Yeah.
we were having fun, man. Yeah, that was a totally different day and age for sure.
But I still do call my sandals sand shoes. to
Sand
this
shoes.
I
day.
think all of us do.
Have you seen my
I recall
sessions?
him like sitting in his room before everything was bad, or maybe after got him back. I don't know, but like he was just sitting on the edge of the bed, and he was sitting there, and everybody's there before the puke and all this stuff, and he was like talking about his sand shoes sitting on the bed.
That was the fun. That was the fun part.
And that-
Really,
that was like-
sitting on the bed going.
Did he want to go to a pool?
Drop my
Like, we didn't
sand
have a pool,
There was no pool there.
right? But he was like,
that's-
"I'm going
that
to
was
the pool."
part of like
Wasn't that? I
that was
remember
part of
something
the
like
talk,
saying
like bringing
that.
him
Like-
like that he wouldn't like fall off the balcony, the ledge there. He wanted to go jump in the pool.
Yeah, that's. He was like, "I was going to go dive in the pool."
Yeah, I mean that's what he really wanted to do, and I was like, no.
Yeah, because it didn't exist.
Why wouldn't you?
Because it wasn't real.
I don't
Because
know.
like there
there
wasn't one.
there might have
That's
even,
why. And he was
I don't
ready
think there
to
would
just
be a
kind of
pool
go
in that
yeah,
hotel,
go swim.
motel, but yeah, I remember that was part of the scary thing. Is like he wanted to jump off.
But I think that the funniest part about it all is that still to this day, whenever I see a sandal or I'm going to put on a sandal, I always think Sanshoe
Every time.
every time. It's my Sanshoe.
Excuse me, the beat be shaking. Somebody scream to stop the party. Take a minute, set up, you're on the vacay. Yeah, you're in a room for the booster, yeah. Get your ass up on the dance floor. If this group don't hit, you don't head for the door. Let loose, no use in acting hardcore like a bag of Doritos. Don't slow your roll, don't have control. Be somebody tonight. Let's go too far, let's buy the bar. Be somebody tonight.
All right, what you just heard was a little bit of Too Much Fun. That's off our Shakin and Stirred album. And let's talk about that a little bit right now.
I have two memories of not only just recording this, but also kind of the writing of it. I'll always remember back when we were, constantly playing the B Street Bashes and the Festival Fridays every single year. We would almost traditionally, Brooke and I would always go golfing. And so we'd hit 9 before, we'd go and kind of take a shower, get ready, get to the gig, set up and all that kind of stuff. And I remember he and I kind of going over harmonies on the golf course. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't.
But I remember being on the, I think it was maybe it was the Short 9 at Elmwood.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the new song. We had just written it. And we were going over harmonies on the golf course, which I thought was kind of funny. And people were looking, as we were singing on, as we get out of the cart and we talk, well, where does this go here and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of a fun memory for me.
I do vaguely remember that. I remember going to get food like for All-State kids or something like that. And us like singing in the grocery.
I remember that
like
too.
Doing something like in the Safeway or something.
And that
like
was
trying to think of lyrics and stuff. Like not for that, but yeah, for one of the songs on that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and this is a tune that definitely originates with Ryan's just very strong apt of finding riff rock stuff in his writing. So it's definitely, you can hear at the very beginning, it's just complete riff rock, very Ryan style, and very Martini Shot style. So definitely, I would say if you look at our catalog, like I would say this would be one of those songs that definitely kind of is more of a definition of what the Martini Shot sounds like. Real riff rock with a lot of horns. Kind of diving into a little bit of rap rock here and there, but on a very easy scale, and then just catchy as can be, really. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that just jumps out to me as far as memories are concerned with the recording of this, I remember having a bunch of like either girlfriends or wives at the time going in and just screaming out all of the what do you want to call those, like scream choruses or whatever, which was kind of funny when we were recording in Greg's studio. So if you listen to all those hey or the we'll make more. Mm-hmm. There's the whole band gets in there at different tracks and screams out the we make more, but then we'd always put some other people in there, which I thought was kind of fun.
I totally forgot about that. We dubbed them several times too. So
we did.
I forgot about that too.
They had the female voices in there as well, so it sounded like a big party.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
But that's what I was gonna say. I remember even it was just Greg and I working on all of those songs, but that song in particular for hours and hours and hours just trying to get it right. But that's another instance of being in Greg's garage and everybody trying to pack in there recording it. There was just so much fun to record that song in there. But
are you sure it wasn't too much fun?
it was too much.
It was too much fun. Well, and that's again that was a time where really Greg and Ryan would kind of go back and forth, and there were times in the recording of that album where we'd spend almost 20 hours a day trying to make that happen. Greg would go to bed and Ryan would go in there and continue working and back and forth.
I think that was fun because just the way Greg knew his studio, which is amazing because like he built a vocal isolation booth in a garage, right? Which is like small garage, 1-car garage.
It was
right?
tiny. Yeah.
And then you just put the drums in the rest of the space. And basically that was it. And I remember doing the vocals in the vocal booth probably the most, like just having fun, like in that thing because, like, you know, of course, we try to get it right, and it'd be like, nah, that doesn't sound right, you know, like, let's do it again. And I remember doing that process quite a bit through several beers, I'm sure, right? But I feel proud of that bass line. I finally got to do like a little funky thing and play some popping kind of, you know, funk bass line. And the riffs were hard to play, and especially in the bridge, like where the horn parts are, you know, there's like, to me, it was kind of a stepping stone to where it was like, wow, I can play, like, I could play kind of fast and play with some, you know, precision in that aspect too. And I think, you know, that's one thing that Pizzle's writing always did for us, I think, was step us up in musicianship. And I remember there was a few times where I'd be stretched going, man, I hope I can nail this part on the recording because I don't want to piss Pizzle off, and he's gonna have to play he's gonna have to play it, yeah, like re-record or just play over the top of it and make it sound like it, you know, it was good, you know. So yeah, it upped our musicianship, I think, a little bit.
Well, I think it's a good example as far as in our tunes, how it just kind of lent itself to the next thing. It worked out with the riff rock stuff at the beginning, and then the funk stuff in the verse, and then the horn solo is just very Martini shot.
Which we nailed that on our altitude special. Like, we're jumping around and we're playing it, and like everybody's playing it really good. That was a prime time where we were well rehearsed and we knew our stuff.
I really wanted to know that. I don't think it's been a couple of years since we played Too Much Fun.
We haven't played Too Much Fun in probably, I would say, 10 years.
Yeah, there's that horn riff that I would have to relearn, you know. But it was difficult, and it's difficult to play in time, and or that part. I don't even know if I ever played it all the right notes in that maybe at that Altitude Sports at that Altitude Sports show.
And we were pretty well rehearsed for that one, so I'm
there's
sure
a lot going
something
on with the horns in that song too. A lot.
Yeah, I'd love to bring that back.
Did you guys both write that?
I think that was a Robbie write.
In the studio? Because I don't know where the horns came from.
Same.
At all.
I'm pretty sure that I still have that original copy of on him writing it out on Finale and handed it to me and says, we should play this. Because I know I wouldn't have write, but a little need that. You know, that's not certainly my writing style. There's not many notes in my writing style, so I'm pretty sure that was. Or did you write that, Sis?
Rob's got notes.
I didn't write that because I remember writing the riff. We recorded the guitar, bass, and drums, and then like the next time I came in, that was just on there.
All right,
and you were pretty happy with it. I remember that.
I was
You guys like it. I didn't know that everybody liked it so much. I thought
it was badass.
Okay.
It was killer.
Okay, yeah, I wrote it.
give me the credits.
I always thought it was too predictable, so I don't know. I just like looking back on it, but I haven't listened to it for a long time. Sometimes when you go back and listen, you go things that you thought you would have changed. You listen to and say, "Yeah, it's all right," you know.
I remember when I first started like playing with you guys, it was like a moment to look forward to. That horn
song
part.
Really?
Just that specific part. Not because it was like you said, it's not really. I mean, it's kind of predictable, but it's just a cool moment, and it was fun to play.
Yeah, I guess that you know,
fits. I think it fits perfectly right there.
Cool. Yeah, that's mine.
And that song was always just our badass closer, right? For a long time.
It just brings back memories, like the Altitude Special and Thirsty Parrot. Of course, that's where it was filmed. So, like those days, and the fact that even Altitude would find out about us. I mean, I don't think we sent anything to them, did we? Did they? How'd they contact us? I mean, for those people listening that don't know, Altitude is a sports channel out of Denver that carry the Nuggets and Avalanche and Mammoth and other sporting programs. How'd they find out about us?
I don't exactly remember.
Brian.
It had to be
You know,
dude.
so the first thing I thought was like Brian must have reached out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think that in that moment in time, and you're looking in the mid to late 2000s, we were very lucky and blessed to have a name. We were playing constantly.
Spring, so
We were playing constantly in Springs, but
Well,
then
they
starting
were-
to
well,
move
we
up.
they
remember
into
were
we
Denver.
looking for
We played
statewide
Bronco
talent.
Stadium. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And we played in front of the Broncos Stadium at the game.
I think
Like probably that's what put us on the map up there in Denver.
could have.
And you know, we've been lucky enough to do that. We did
And
the
I think
Winter
they were-
Classic for the Avs. You know, we did the Broncos. You know, that was. I think that gave us some. You know, clout, I guess, for lack of a better term, right? In Denver.
And they did used to.
And the
Now I
Soil
remember
Dove,
they
we played there a lot.
did feature bands from around the state. I don't think they ever got any further south than Colorado Springs, and they may have even gone out of the state a little bit to, like, you know, nearby states like maybe Wyoming or I don't
They
know.
might have. But I think Brick brings up a great point. I mean, we were playing the Soil Dove, Herman's Hideaway. We were playing those places.
Yeah, we had a bit of a.
Not often,
for
but
us, so-
still, we were a name that people would recognize at the
I
time.
mean, it
so.
felt like, you know, it was everything was just kind of falling into place like that they should know of us because we felt pretty, I guess, popular in Springs. Like maybe I don't know if we were the biggest band in Springs at the time, but you know that seems like that if we were close to that, or if we were, then that would be something that they would have been interested in.
It was
Figuring
pretty
that's
cool. I had it
probably-
on the DVR for years until we got a new one finally.
Doesn't that suck when the DVR breaks down and all your stuff is saved? And
It's on YouTube.
But
Yeah,
it was,
Brian
it
got
was
it on
cool
YouTube.
just being someone who like grew up listening to it. It was kind of cool to watch it on TV. It was pretty special.
I still have a copy of it, like on DVD or something.
And if
it
you want
was
to check
cool
it out,
watch again.
Yeah.
When you sent that on our, to everybody from YouTube or something, it was
Yeah.
pretty cool to revisit that. It was a
the
lot of
Altitude
memories.
Sports is really cool with me with that. I wrote them and said, "Hey, do you have a copy of this? And can we get it and put it on our YouTube channel?" And they were like, "Yeah, give us." The Nugs were in the championship, so like, give us till after the championship, and then we'll look for that for you. And sure enough, week after the championship, they were looking and got that over and let us use it for,
That was cool.
obviously not to resell, but to
was,
just put that out there
yeah,
as far as
for
our
sure,
history
for free.
goes. So super appreciative of that.
Was it Jake Schroeder? Is that his
Schrader.
name?
Yeah.
Schrader.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude was cool. And I just loved the way he used to sing the national anthem.
Yeah, he sang the national anthem for
Many years.
over, decades.
Yeah, it was every home
So
game.
Jake,
at the Avs.
he was the host of this Altitude on stage.
And he had a band
He
called
had a
Opie
band.
Gone Bad,
Opie Gone Bad, yep.
Yeah.
and they were the band in Denver.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
Does he still do the national anthem at
No.
Navs game?
No, there's a
Not for a couple of years, I don't think.
yeah.
They've been bringing in other singers.
He missed this last cup. He wasn't there. He got a ring. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, he got a cup ring. That I was like, dang, dude, I'm jealous. It's like just a lead singer in Denver, but he was a good one, But I mean, he ended up getting that job, and that was a great job, And he did a great job.
Yeah.
Honored our anthem well every single time he did it.
He was cool to us. He was a good host.
How'd we get off on that?
I don't know.
Tune in next time.
That does it for now for this episode of Confessions of a Wedding Band. Thank you so much for listening to our little experiment in documenting our band stories and talking about our originals. Check us out on all the socials. Just look for the Martini Shot, and of course, check out our website, martinishotband.com. This podcast is produced by all of us here at the Martini Shot and audio engineered by the one was the first man to say no to Taylor Swift and write a song about her, our own Stephen Falsetto. Keep supporting local music and community, and don't forget about your waitstaff. Tip them and tip them well. We'll see you next time.
Steven would never say no to Taylor Swift.
She wrote a song about me. Check it out.
The clock is ticking and I'm not sticking around. The wall has rotted, it's burning to the ground. Searching and searching, there's something to be found. The clock is ticking and I'm not sticking around.